All right. Everybody good? All right.
Miko, you had some guys. He can go if he wants to go.
Go for it.
All right. I'm curious, what are your initial thoughts on the Chargers defense and what makes them as effective as they are?
For the Chargers defense, what makes them most effective, I think, is just the structure, how sound they are. I think Jesse has done a really nice job of coordinating the defense, like utilizing his playmakers in the right way. He uses Derwin James in a lot of different areas to get him down to blitz. They put him in coverage. Everybody knows Derwin is a dynamic player, and I thought they did a really good job, right, of picking up Owe before the trade deadline, of adding another edge rusher. So you got Owe, Thule, Khalil Mack. They have really good presence on the edges, so they're a good pass rush unit. But the biggest thing with this team is they make you earn it. They're going to make sure they're playing deep zone coverage. They're going to make you earn every single yard that you get, and they're going to make it tough. So they're a really good unit. Fast, they fly around, but they're going to be sound, and that's the thing that stands out to me the most. They're sound, and those guys play well together.
Nico, you had a lot of guys make the Pro Bowl, but one of them was a first-time guy that you've coached for a long time in Aziz. What does it mean to you and to see him get that recognition?
Yeah, really proud of all of our guys who made the Pro Bowl. Really special one. Probably more special to me for seeing Aziz be able to make the Pro Bowl. Just seeing the trajectory of his career, where he started as an undrafted free agent, backup player, special teams, and to see him, make his way in this league, and not just make his way to come in and knock the doors down and show everyone, throughout the league this year of the type of player that he is. Right? He's our Walter Payton Man of the Year. Now he gets this huge honor of the Pro Bowl, which is it's even bigger because you get the respect from your peers. And that's the thing that means a lot. And I'm so proud of Aziz for accomplishing this Pro Bowl. It's huge for him. It's a huge honor. And it was a special moment for me to be able to announce that news to him this morning.
Can you talk about the opportunity you guys have to clinch a playoff berth this week with the win?
And for our team and where we are at this point of the season, we've earned the right to play a game that's meaningful, a really huge game for us that if we win, we get in. Like as I mentioned to our guys this morning, how else would you want it? Like it's such a huge opportunity that our guys have earned. Everybody understands it didn't look great to start, but our guys stayed the course. They continue to believe in each other. They continue to play with the passion, the energy, what we needed to play with, and they finished games the right way to put themselves in a position right here to have a win and get in moment. So I'm excited to see our guys go out and play this game. Really had a really good day of work today. Their mindset is right. Everybody's energy is up. Everybody understands what's at stake. So I'm happy to be in this moment, and now we just got to go close it out.
You've had a lot of proud moments as coach of this team because you guys have done a lot of good things since you've been here. But is this one of the more prouder moments you've had, just the way they didn't get down after the tough start and were able to put themselves in this position?
I'm really proud of our team because each year you have to build a team, and each team you never know what's going to happen. You never build year to year off of what we did last year. We're just going to end up in the same spot. Like you have to go through some things, and you have to grow through some things, and that's what we've done as a team. We've grown through the early adversity. We've understood what it takes for us to win, what our formula is for the 2025 Texans, and we're leaning into that. And that's what I'm most proud of, our coaches, our players, for just staying the course to allow us to be in the position we're in now. Now, no more talking about it. Like, now we got to go do it. We want to get in. We got to go earn the right. We got to punch our ticket. We got to go play winning football.
D'Amico, I was talking to Bullock a few minutes ago just about, and he brought up the unselfish style, especially on the defensive side, where everybody pulls from one another, no matter who the hero is. He even said he enjoys watching other guys make big plays versus himself. What does that mean for you as a head coach to see that unselfish style?
My first rule as a team is it's about the team first. It's all about the team, and our guys have embraced that. When you know you have a good team, it's when someone else makes a play and you get just as excited as if you made that play, that's for me as a coach. Like, I get so excited for guys. No, I can't go make the plays, but to see them make it, I'm pumped up just as if I made it. And to see our players have that same enthusiasm for each other, that same love for each other, that's what team sports is all about. It's not about one person. It's about the collective. It's about the group. And that's what makes our team a special team. Nobody wants the recognition. Nobody's looking for it. Nobody's seeking it. Nobody's patting themselves on the back. Everybody understands, let's just go play together. And I'm proud of your success just as I know you'll be proud of my success.
Oh,
Thought I was out.
brought you back.
Defense, you know, you've been here for about a year, every year, Devils have gotten to the Pro Bowl. Would that just kind of speak to the level of overall talent that your defense has?
Yeah, we have a lot of talented guys, on our team. For the guys to get the recognition for Pro Bowl, for starting off with Nico. Everybody understands Nico. He's very deserving. And then you have, the defensive guys, Will, Aziz, and Stingley. We have really good players. The one thing about the Pro Bowl that's cool is you get the recognition from, not only fans, but from your peers and your other coaches around the league that watch the tape every single week and they know what you're doing out there. And when you get the respect of your peers, it means more. So I'm happy for all those guys to get the respect that they deserve, especially here in Houston where we don't get talked about much. But, hey, they're getting respect now, and I'm proud of all those guys.
Nico, do you have an update on your 2 tackles that are injured?
Of course you had to ask that question,
Hey,
right?
gotta check. You
Yeah,
might have an
always.
announcement.
You got to keep me on it, right? No, we'll see how it goes. Of course, we know, everybody knows we're banged up, at tackle, and we'll see. We're on a short week here. We'll see how that plans out for us.
Every you take each game. It's a week-to-week game, but with what you all are trying to do, and what the Chargers are trying to do, do you feel like you're going into a playoff type atmosphere game?
No doubt about it. It is definitely a playoff game. It was a playoff game for us last week, understanding the importance of us getting that win. It was huge last week, and that's where you want to be in December. You want to be playing meaningful games, and that's what this team has earned. And so every week from here on out, how can you continue to improve your position? Right now, this is a playoff game versus the Chargers. We know they have a lot to play for. We have a lot to play for. And that's how else would you want it? It's an exciting time. It'll be an exciting game. 2 really good teams. Play the game the right way. Well-coached team. Really respect Coach Harbaugh for what he's done to get that team in the playoffs 2 years in a row since he's been there. They have a really great quarterback in Justin Herbert, who's done a really nice job. Great running back. So it's going to be a challenge that we're up for.
When you say December football, do you mean is there so many teams in the NFC and the AFC still fighting for playoff seedings? Is that what that December football that you're talking about?
Oh yeah, man. That's why the schedules are set up the way they're set up, right? They set it up a way to make it really exciting in December. Teams have a lot to play for, especially having the divisional matchups later in the season. It's exciting, and something's on the line each game, and that keeps me tuned in, keeps everyone tuned in. But as we play and as we coach, we understand when that ball is kicked off, we got to be on our details. We got to go out, execute as best as we can possibly play, and then we got to just finish the game.
D'Amico, as good as Stingley is and as many interceptions as he's had in college and here, was it surprising to you that he'd never scored a touchdown until Sunday?
It was very surprising to me that Stingley had never had it. I had to ask him actually in the game. I asked him, is that your first pick six? He's like, yeah, first one since high school. So it's impressive. I was shocked because a guy with such great hands as Stingley has and how he intercepts the football is such a talented guy. I was shocked that he hadn't had one since high school, but we needed it on Sunday, and I'm happy he got it then.
Hey, D'Amico, are you encouraged by the opportunities you have from the areas where maybe things didn't go as well on offense and defense in the last game? Does that encourage you saying, you know what, we got through it, but we have opportunity because we left so much out there? Is that how you look at it?
We always have a huge opportunity to improve, and my guys get on me. I never let them slip on what we have to improve upon. Like they do a lot of good things, and I'll let you pat them on the back for all the good things, and I'll go in on the things we have to improve upon. So always trying to keep that edge, and that's just how I coach. I'm always trying to keep an edge, let our guys know there's always better. You can always do more, and yeah, we didn't play our best, but we got the win. So I'm always happy for the win. Also, there's room for encouragement. There's room for improvement on all three phases. And so can we make those improvements this week? We're going to need to play our best to beat this Chargers team because they are a very talented team. So we got to bring it.
Thanks,
All right.
Coach.
Thank you.
Coach.
Happy holidays.
With the matchup with the Chargers defense, what are some things that are kind of the signature things you see with their defense, including Derwin James?
Yeah, they're really talented. Playing some good ball at the right time of the year. So yeah, it's gonna be a challenge for us. Derwin's a dog. Got to line up against him last year in the playoffs. So he's a heck of a player, and I bet they're motivated. To knock us off just because what happened last year. So we got to just be motivated.
What in particular, when you watch them on film, what in particular may stand out that maybe we don't, at a first glance, notice?
I mean, they play together as one. They kind of on a string in coverage. Which is a good thing. They rush together, so they kind of do everything together, which is really challenging. And there's not one person just doing whatever. So it's really sound, and they have great coaching, and they do a really good job of mixing coverage and stuff like that. So.
Sure, win and in, as Nico just said, the scenarios are very clear. How do you guys look at that just in terms of big picture and having earned the right to be here to position yourself for the playoffs?
I mean, what else could you ask for? It's going to be a heck of a game. I know they're motivated as well to just win out, and, so are we. So, it's another playoff game, going to be a playoff atmosphere. So, I'm excited, and, this is what NFL football is about, so.
How proud are you as the leader of this team that you guys were able to shake off the tough start and be in this position with 2 games left in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of thought we were gonna get things together. It's not really a surprise to me, but I'm proud of these guys, regardless if we win or lose. Or, I love my teammates, and really want to see them do well, not just as football players, but as men. So, but yeah, on the other side, the football thing, it's been great to win some games, and just want to keep that going.
How happy were you to see, as many of your teammates make it to the Pro Bowl today, be selected to the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it's super cool and, very well deserving. Thought some other guys, should have got in, but, they'll be able to maybe make it as an alternative or whatever, however it's going to look. So really proud of those guys, really happy for them, and, it's a dope experience I got to do in my rookie year, which is cool. So I think, they'll have a great time if they decide to go, but hopefully they don't get to go, and we get to, be, in the Bay that week.
What do you feel like as an offense, you guys are, because even you like last week and Nick Caley a couple weeks ago or last week, expressed wanting to do more as an offense. But what do you feel like y'all are chasing as an offense?
I think, our coach's messages, we're chasing perfection and never going to be perfect, but in that, you'll reach excellence. So I'm still just trying to find those ways and, trying to challenge myself as long as others to find what, works for us as the 2025, Texans. So, I thought, we've gotten better, and it's not always going to be perfect, but in these type of environments in these games, you just find ways to win at the end of the day. And, whatever it takes and whatever scenario that is for that game, you got to do. So I think, it's not always easy to be perfect every week because you're never going to be perfect, but to strive for it, you can reach, better goals in doing that.
CJ, with what you all are fighting for and what the Chargers are fighting for, does this feel like a playoff type of atmosphere game you're going into?
I would think so. Yeah, I mean, we'll see when we get there, but for us, it's just trying to do the little things correct, do the ordinary things over and over again and, look up at, the end of the game and see what the scoreboard says. But I think, it's going to be a great environment, and I think it's going to be fun.
All good? Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Talking with CJ about some of the nuances of the Chargers defense, Jesse Winter. What are some things that jump out, some things that you kind of feel they put their stamp on?
Yeah, well, I think they do a really good job of, eliminating and reducing the amount of explosive plays. They play good football. They tackle well. They play hard. They set edges up front. I think they're second level linebackers pursue the football with great speed and violence, and I think they're well coordinated. I mean, I think he's done a really good job.
What were some of the challenges that the Raiders presented, and what were some of the issues that you guys had as an offense that kept you from running the ball the way you wanted to?
Yeah, well, they do a great job. Pat Graham does a really good job. They played really hard. They gave us some 5-down structures, which we expected. I think, they played great with great effort. We didn't play clean enough nearly to start the game, especially on the edges. The edges were sloppy to start, had a couple negative plays, and we're going to get back on track. So, again, it was reminiscent. The feeling of that game reminded me of the Tennessee game at home, where it took us, up until fourth quarter to really get things going again. But we didn't play clean enough, especially in the run game early on. And they played well. They played hard, they played well, and they were disruptive up front.
What would you like to see from the offense based on the things that you all could control?
Yeah, just more consistent fundamentals. Consistent fundamentals, starting the right way. We've had glimpses. We've made some progress, but that wasn't the way we wanted to start it. Not pleased with that. I don't think anybody was, and it wasn't just one person. It was all of us, coaches, players. We got to do a better job than that. But more consistency, better fundamentals, and especially starting the game the right way. The drive starts especially.
CJ said after the game on Sunday that he felt like in the beginning his time was off and maybe he was rushing things a little bit. When you went back and watched the film, could you also see that as well?
Yeah, I think, I talked to him when he comes off the sideline. I think there's some throws he certainly wanted back, but, didn't anticipate anything going through the game. And I think he settled in fine. And just, by the time we ended up getting moving, especially in the second half, he was playing with good poise, sees the field well. But again, I think it was everybody. It was the run game, it was the pass game. We just didn't play clean. You go in there and, in hindsight, wish, the third drive of the game would have stuck in some more runs. That I can do a better job of that to settle some things down and the totality of it, we all got to do a better job.
How happy are you?
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, how happy are you to see that Nico Collins was selected to his second consecutive Pro Bowl?
Yeah, I think it's a testament to him. Really happy for him. He's a great teammate. I've said that. I think of the world of him, and I think he's an elite player. That's an elite person, and he sets the model for what we want here. Just by the way he behaves and the way he goes about his day, and couldn't happen to a better person that's more deserving than him.
Hey, Nick, how would you assess where this offense is at this point of the season? And I don't mean in terms of just production, but in terms of learning this new offense, the installation of it, are you about where you had hoped you'd be? Or?
Yeah. I would like to have a little more consistency, and I think we've made strides doing that. I know we've made strides doing that, but I feel like from a knowledge standpoint, from an understanding of what we're trying to do, the mechanics of operation, getting out of the huddle, movements, motions, formations, understanding the intent of the plays, I feel like those guys have done a really good job of that, and they understand that. And like anything else, we just oftentimes some of the miscues, some of the negative plays, some of the missed opportunities or lack of obviously execution, but that execution comes down to usually poor fundamentals or not playing consistent enough in certain moments. And and certainly like I said, I can help with some of the calls too, for sure.
What is the confidence level or maybe challenge of using what Jawar's done the last 2 weeks and mixing in the perfect blend of Woody Marks and Nick Chubb to run the ball and maybe even throw it to those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I have confidence in all those guys. I think they've done a good job. Jawar's been consistent. Like, that's consistently who he's been. Woody does a great job too, and then Nick's steady as hell as well. So when those guys are called up and it's their time, I mean, Nick had an explosive run for 30 yards in a very key part of the game for us. It was a huge play in the game. I have a lot of confidence in those guys and a lot of confidence throwing the ball to them too. I mean, doesn't ever cross my mind.
What about yourself though? Because I'm in New England and stuff. There always seem to be like multiple backs making plays in big games at the same time. I know you weren't calling the offense, but you observed that. Do you believe in that? Like multiple guys? Is there a perfect mix? Is there a feel?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of good players. I think that each week's a little bit different. I have no issues throwing the ball to any one of the 5 eligibles. I think every year's different, every team's different. I have a lot of faith in Woody, Jawar, Nick. Those guys have all done good things, and when the ball finds itself to them, great. And we have times where we're scheming things open too. But we also have a lot of other guys too. We have a deep receiver room. We have production at the tight end position, and the backs have done a great job too. So we have a lot of guys that have helped us throughout the year in different ways. And, sometimes there's games that go one way to certain guys or, units, and sometimes it goes the other way. But have a lot of faith in all those guys. Landry, I really do.
I know Higgins made a big play for you, a real pivotal one. But is there a way to maybe do more to expand on that? There have been times where it seemed like he was going to be more of the offense, where he got like a 5-catch game. But what do you hope to do week in and week out with Jaden?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, he's a big part of our offense. Like, he really is. It just, again, it goes down to what are we seeing, what personnel groupings are we deploying, what is the structure of the defense, what is the situation in the game, where are we at in the progressions. I mean, there's a lot of things that factor into that. He's done a great job. He's continued to get better, got a lot of confidence in Jaden.
Maybe that's part of the answer, but what, specifically to Landry's question, what is the balance in ensuring that you get guys who, like Jawar, obviously you all know what he's been able to do, but he's shown that he can be a 100-yard runner. Nick Chubb has shown he can do things. Like, what is the balance in trying to get those guys touches and utilize their strengths, even though you got 3 guys.
Yeah, I think the balance. You want balance in terms of it depends what you're trying to do distributing the ball. And in the run game, if you're asking specific to the run game, I think each of those guys, it's healthy to have a mixture of those guys in there too. I mean, you don't want to sit there and wear any specific guy down, especially at that position. There were certain times, early in the season, might be bringing Woody along. He's caught up and also grown within the system too. You look at all the 3 of those guys, and then Dare too, like in terms of like being able to play some football on all downs. Those guys have played on first, second, and third down. So the balance for me is it's whatever the situation is, it's what the game plan dictates. But I have all the faith in the world in from that standpoint. And then in the passing game too, there's try to get a screen. They blitz zeros into a screen this past week. We have some isolation routes we'll deploy with those guys too. Woody's had some good production, more in the first half of the season, but that's not a direct result of going away from them. Oftentimes, based on some of the progressions that we have, they may not be at the front of it certain times, and sometimes they are. So, it just depends on what we're trying to do in that moment.
What goes into aggressiveness on, like, say, 3rd and long, couple 3rd down plays paid off for you this week? What is that a collaborative thing, like whether it's at the end of a half or anything, or is that just like you can decide, or is that something you and D'Amico talk about?
No, I think in situations, we're always talking situations. The situation in the game is at end of half, we're always going to be communicating. So, if it's normal down and distance, if I'm asked a question, we'll speak on that. But generally speaking, when it comes to situational, end of half, anything that would pertain to a situation in the game that's a non-normal situation, then we'll communicate that. D'Amico does a great job of always communicating.
You've been around a lot of systems and been around some games where there's more entailed into it and what they call December football.
Yep.
When you go heading into this week, there's a lot of things that you all are playing for, a lot of things that the Chargers are playing for. Do you feel that type of playoff atmosphere kind of?
I think the NFL is highly competitive. So when you get in, we talked about last week, when you get into this time of the year, the margin of error is really, really small. So I think it's what you feel a continuous from start to finish. You feel a team that's improved in every aspect in terms of fundamentals, in terms of, again, talking about the intent of knowing, where we're at offensively, pertaining to our system. And I think you're getting guys that are growing within the system, coaches, players that are growing in the system. So practices get cleaner, they get a little tighter. There's tightened focus as we get down the stretch. And I think that's the beauty of playing in the National Football League. And I think that's the case, in the other places that I've been to, you experience that. And, guys take a lot of pride and want to practice well and want to play well, and got a great opportunity against a really good opponent, and you want to be at your best.
You don't have Ursary at left tackle. You don't have a lot of guys that have played a lot of left tackle in the National Football League. Are there certain skills that maybe you would look for from one guy versus another when you're deciding who that is to replace Ursary if you don't have him? Or is there a certain just, hey, we just got to figure out who fits best at this spot and adjust around?
Yeah, we want to try to get the 5 best guys out there. And certainly, does it help having some experience? Sure. You look at a guy like, we talked about Titus before, but like Titus has outside to inside flex. But you want to be able to get a guy that obviously has confidence, comfortable out there. And if they played the position, obviously it helps. But we're going to try to get the 5 best out there however we can, that communicate, that are cohesive with each other. And I think that's what we're in the process of doing right now, is getting all that, trying to figure that out and solidify everything. Yeah, thank you guys. Have a happy holidays.